Relax. In fact, the order made by the Court of Appeal that status quo ante bellum be restored had been set aside. In other words, the basis upon which INEC acted to remove the name of Senator Mark and his escort had been removed by the Supreme Court agreeing that the order of status quo ante bellum made by the Court of Appeal was unwarranted and no basis to make it was unnecessary. But affirm that we should go to raise the question of jurisdiction before the trial court. In other words, the Supreme Court allowed the appeal. The objection to the competence of the appeal was dismissed. The appeal was valid, but they agreed that we ought not to have come to the Court of Appeal for the question to come and show cause. And so we're going back to the Court of Appeal.
How do you react to that? How do you feel?
In my view, that's it. The Supreme Court is a court of policy. Like you hear the lordship say, they are all Nigerians. Yes. They are aware of what is going on. Democracy must flourish and it must thrive.
So finally, what's the state of the matter at the Federal High Court? Where are we at the Federal High Court?
When we get there, I'll answer you.
Very well. Thank you.
ADC! Arise, we shine! Arise, we shine! Arise, we shine! Don't worry, she's an NWC member. Give her stress, let her show. Let her show. It's okay.
You say what?
What the judgment represents the black faction, and they react to the judgment just delivered.
Well, I mean, it's a victory for multi-party democracy in Nigeria. We have repeatedly maintained that anything contrary to what the Supreme Court had ruled will have set Nigeria's democracy back by many years. So we are glad, we have remained confident in the judiciary. We have repeatedly maintained that we are confident in the judiciary, and we are very proud as Nigerian citizens today that the Supreme Court has not let the judiciary down, has not let Nigeria down, and as Nigerians we are very proud. And this means to us that democracy will survive in Nigeria. Then we can go back and begin to do the hard work of politics.
And the implication of this judgment? What is the implication of this judgment?
As you have had the lawyers explain, the full implication is that the basis on which INEC acted by removing the name of David Mark, Rauf, Arigbesola, and other executives from its portal has now been removed.
That's it.
So INEC now has an obligation to immediately restore the name of David Mark, Rauf, Arigbesola, and other ESCO of the party on his portal and begin to continue to deal with us until the High Court determines the case.
Thank you very much. Can we have your full name on camera?
My name is Bolaji Abdullahi. My name is Bolaji Abdullahi.
Arise and shine!
Arise and shine! They don't do! Oh, okay.
The Supreme Court struck down the order, meaning the leadership of African Democratic Congress had been returned to their position. And we shall write INEC immediately tomorrow to comply with the decision of the Supreme Court. But the main issue which has been decided is still in the Federal High Court. And as at the last adjourned date, it was supposed to be judgment. But it was adjourned pending the decision of the Supreme Court. So now that we had the decision of the Supreme Court, that court will now deliver its judgment on the substantive matter. But the main thing here is that the party will continue with its leadership pending all these litigations.
So supposing the judgment of the lower court, that's the Federal High Court, goes the other way, is it going to have any bearing on what the Supreme Court has decided today?
Well, it is not going to have any bearing because it will have meant that the Federal High Court had decided the substantive issue, which is the transition of leadership of ADC, which is being challenged. Now, it will take us up to the Supreme Court again, because the Supreme Court will have to finally decide on it. But what has been the celebration of the members of the party is that the clock in the wheel of the progress of the party had been removed.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen of the press, are you?
I withdraw my confidence, but I believe that he will restore his dignity back by restoring the David Mark executive into the INEC quarter. Thank you.
ADC, one Nigeria. One Nigeria. ADC, one Nigeria. ADC, one Nigeria. One Nigeria. Nigeria for all. One Nigeria. ADC, one Nigeria. One Nigeria. ADC, 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 ADC,
Arise and shine! Arise and it's over! Arise and shine! Arise and shine! Nigeria is not North Korea! Nigeria is not North Korea! Nigeria must work! Nigeria must work! Nigeria must move! Tinubu must go!